Pairing live stream, it says. So that will now, I'll just check if that's on my Facebook page. Yes, it is. So I'll do that like that. Oh, hang on. Don't do that. Green screen. So that's it. And now if I write a comment and put at like that, at, and then put T-I-N, there you go, Tina. Oh no, Tina, got another Tina come up there. World's full of Tina. Ah, there you are. Right, that's gone to your Facebook page now, so that should be streaming on there.
Cool.
Right, and nobody's said anything rude at the moment, but I'll put that there just in case they do. Tina, it's very nice to meet you. I don't, how did we meet again? Remind me.
Well, I seen you on here on Facebook, and then a friend of mine, um, oh, his name's gone right out my head. He was telling me about you when I was in Maui about a month ago. He was saying that he did um Danny Patterson, Danny Miranda, he was saying that he'd had an interview with you, and then you popped up again on Facebook. So I was like, okay, I've got to like speak with you. It was just I felt really cool to get in contact with you.
Now, I don't know who Danny Miranda is. I've never done an interview with Danny Miranda.
Haven't you? That's so
No.
weird. He's a podcast. He does podcast, like lots of podcasts.
All right. Who knows? Maybe I'm just like losing my mind and my memory at the same time.
You forgot about it, maybe because you've done so many.
I have. I
Because
have.
he said to me, I was in Maui, and he was like, "Ah, I know someone with the same accent as you." I did an podcast with him,
All
like, and he
right.
was talking about you.
All right.
He
Well,
was the
they,
prompt really for to make me contact you. But I've been watching your work here, like for some time.
I think the spirit of the universe that guides us has got a funny sense of humor. Don't you agree?
Absolutely, totally, yeah,
So
yeah.
you're an Ayurvedic warrior,
Mm.
and we're going to talk about all things Ayurveda or Vedic or whatever. So we'll get
Hmm.
on to that.
Hmm.
Let me talk about Jersey. I love Jersey.
Mm.
I love Jersey,
Mm.
especially St. Bernard's Bay.
That's where I used to live.
Oh, there you go then. And
Mm.
Queneve, St. Queneve, I used to stay there and camp there and stuff like this. And we got escorted off the island because of our antics many, many years ago. This is before I gave up the drink and everything.
How many years ago was that?
Oh, it's over 30, it's about 40 years ago, something like
Okay,
that.
you would have got escorted off then, I'm sure. Oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
the day I arrived, they changed, that was 30 years ago. They just changed the law that you could dance on a Sunday.
Oh
And it
right,
like
okay.
everyone in Liverpool was going, there's no way Tina's going to last in Jersey, not being able to dance anyway, because I danced with myself all over Liverpool. I
Yeah.
used to have a stage in Quadrant Park, like with John Kelly DJing. So I was a dancer, literally. But it was like I needed to get away from Liverpool and an opportunity to come to go to Jersey. And they changed the law that you could dance on a Sunday the weekend I arrived.
Yeah, we got escorted off because there used to be a Hoffenbrau house in St. Helier. Right. Right.
Correct, I think.
And I remember going in but never coming out, that one and all that. So it's the old days. I think my feeling is that you've got to go through the scoundrel days because I believe that true beauty lies in the belly of the beast. And
Mm.
unless we know the beast in ourselves or its potential,
Hmm.
we can't really be fully sort of realized, let's call it that.
Hmm.
And so that's where I'm up to. My story is after years and years and years of stress and anxiety and depression, I tried to take my life on a couple of occasions because I just couldn't handle it anymore. I got addicted to alcohol. I lost everything. Ended up sleeping on the park bench, lost my house, lost my freedom, lost everything. At the time, right, I started all this. I was a biomedical scientist working in pathology, and I was climbing the ladder very quickly because I like all things to do with health and medicine. But as I became more and more sort of successful, if you like, the pressure mounted more and more. And because I'm a highly sensitive person and very emotionally sensitive, I couldn't handle it. So I found that if I got a certain amount of drink down me, it normalized me basically. And I carried on like that for a long time. But as the pressure increased, the drinking increased. And then one day the drinking didn't work. So I had to go on high powered medication then and all that, the normal story, you know. And on the final attempt to do myself in, I had like one of them there experiences. you know. And what happened to me was the peace that passeth all understanding descended upon me. And I didn't understand it, and
Can you explain that a little bit more, Joe?
yeah, yeah. What it was is, so I'm living in a shitty, horrible little flat. It was a pigsty. I couldn't look after myself. I was doubly incontinent. I was really, really ill. And I thought, I'm hurting that many people and I'm hurting myself. Right. And I'd lost touch with spirit or God or anything. I was brought up in a very, very high Roman Catholic family. At the age of 11, I was sent away to train my priesthood and stuff like this, all those sort of stories. Um, but at the end of this drinking, I knelt down and I remember saying, "Look, God, if you are there, right, can you please let this be the end of it now because I just can't take any more." And suddenly everything stopped. The world just stopped completely. And at that moment in time, I understood how every single thing worked. I was even given like a cipher of here is the mathematical equation for how the world works. And I got this sense of in this thing of real, real love and peace. And I thought I was on my way. Anyway, I got a feeling that this sort of voice said to me, now whether it was just my thoughts that were strong or a voice, and it basically said, if you can't take a joke, you shouldn't have signed the form, Joseph. And I thought, "Oh, I'm trying to die here, and this joker is like, this is true, this, you know what I mean?" And I got the feeling of, son, you signed up for this before you were born, right? And you signed up for a tough one because the road of alcoholism is a tough one. But what we're going to do now is, if you keep listening to us, we're going to show you day at a time how to get out of this mess, and other people will be watching you. And so we're going to show you, and all we want you to do is start looking for the joy of living in your own life. Forget every single thing that you've ever been taught about anything. And I had a load of qualifications, right? They said, you can let all them go now because they're all basically in your head and they're all programs and conditions, right? We're going to guide you now from a heart-centered approach, really. And so it will be your soul that now will manage your life and just act upon the information received, Joe, and see how you get on with that. I know it sounds like a long-winded story, this, but from that day on, which was just over 33 years ago, I've followed my heart. And where it's led me is it's led me to whole health. It's led me to peace of mind. It's led me to have some sort of a deeper purpose and understanding of my life. And it's basically got me talking about myself, which I love all the time, getting paid for it and traveling across the world telling my story. And in
Mm.
that time, I've got myself a PhD in medicine, and I found out about how breathing is intricately and intimately related to the way that your heart works. And the way that your heart works is intricately and intimately connected to the way your brain waves function. And so this is not about thinking new stuff. This is actually letting go of all the old stuff and just allowing your heart to guide every single moment. Other than that, just an ordinary day, really.
An ordinary, beautiful day.
So that's where I'm up to. And honestly, I don't know what the hell's going on from one moment to the next. And people say to me, but you've got all these qualifications and all that. I don't even know who got these qualifications. I can't remember. And it's very, very weird. I look back and I think, who was that? And in myself, Tina, I'm all right with me. I feel very comfortable in my own skin. I allow this sort of spirit to move me in the direction that it wants me to go. I trust it wholeheartedly. And that's it. That's how I live my life. I try and I stay in the day. If I go out of the day and look into the future, the old anxiety comes back, you see. So the idea would be is just live in the moment and just try and do something joyful and be guided by this joyfulness. The hard part is, and I talk to loads of people, is the ego needs to know. It wants to know so it can control the situation. So I have to let go of the need to know, really. So I do honestly wake up with what's called the beginner's mind, and I'm always eager to learn something. Don't get me wrong, the old traits are there because on the one side there's fear, on the other side there's like arrogance, really, or intellectual pride. They're the sort of enemies there, really. And I can feel them when they're having a nibble at me. Yeah, so that's what I'm up to, and I feel great. I feel very enthusiastic about the future. I don't get involved in all the bollocks that are going on in the world. I just wait till I get the job. It's like a job sheet, really. I open my heart at the beginning of the day and say, "What have you got on the cards for me today?" And I just try and follow that prompting.
So who are you actually in contact with? You're saying you're traveling the world and you're actually speaking to people. You're just doing podcasts all over with everybody.
Yeah, I do podcasts, and then people invite me over to different countries. I'm doing some stuff in Barcelona at the moment because I've studied a lot of yoga and stuff like that, and they call me Dr. Lightheart. And that's basically the anahata chakra, you see. So I'm the like the doctor of the heart type thing. So people ask me to come over and do workshops and stuff like that.
I think it helps with having the academics sometimes, though. People actually like that you've actually got that training because they can see that you've worked hard for it. And even though that some of it mightn't be being applied, like look like it's been applied in your life, but I think it has it has its weight and stuff.
I agree. And I lead with neuroscience now. I say, look, here's the evidence. And I've got
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of papers now on the
Mm,
evidence behind mindfulness,
mm,
because I live on the Wirral, and I say like woo woo works wonders for well-being on the Wirral, right?
mm,
And so
mm,
what I'm trying to do is scientificize the woo woo, and that's the heart and the brain and the mind connection. And I've got
mm,
loads of PowerPoints and I've got loads of this. But also, what's happened to me is I seem to have been given this ability now to almost like lock into other people's souls. So I do this, what they call Shakti Pattern, it's called, right?
mm,
And
mm,
all it is really is because I'm a Reiki master, whatever that means, Tina, I just feel energy and I get
mm,
guided by the feeling of energy. And
mm,
so I'm able just to put my hands on people and I get like a, where soul to soul happens.
mm,
And my job is not to advise other people what to do, other than say to them, the answers that you're looking for are already within you. Don't be looking out there for answers because they're already there waiting to express themselves. So basically, I teach them certain breathwork techniques where they can get in touch with this fourth dimensional energy, for want of a better word. And then they have to listen in then and start testing it out. And you know when you're on the right line because it just flows effortlessly. And the thing I learned a long time ago is that if I'm feeling emotionally disturbed, my ego's in play because that brings with it the fight and flight response and it blocks the flow of this unconditional love. Because I call the soul the source of unconditional love. Technically, it's not really, it's the spirit that's the source, but it goes spirit, soul, mind, body.
mhm.
So it's a feeling to me. It's not a thought. If me thinking gets involved, it just blocks me off straight away. So I always go with this like flowy type feeling.
Mm. Yeah, I hear you and I relate so much because this is how I work. Like I feel my way through things and like that's to me as being and especially like growing up in like the upbringing like was so fearful, like such a humble background, but so much fear. It's like, like the life was based upon fear, not upon love, because there was just like little money. It was just like a tough upbringing and it was really a fight for survival. So having to undo all that is not easy, is it? It's like having being able to actually um feel your body is is a whole new like is a whole new way of living life and that takes time. And I mean to reach our divinity like in full bliss. I mean, we're getting to experience it every day. We get to see it and then we come back and we get to feel it and we come back and everything that we do affects us, doesn't it? It just creates an action. Everything we say creates an action. Like every thought creates an action, a vibration. So the just like when you're saying about like when we empty ourselves out of the crap that is like stopping us from breathing is it's like these really like I mean my work is steeped in Vedic tradition and for me it was a no-brainer when you understand. I mean you must know the yogic philosophy then because it's so simple. It's like when we understand the yogic philosophy and the Ayurvedic philosophy of how we're a sum of many parts and it's just like I'm not just Tina, you're not just Joe. Actually that's just the name that someone gave us. we've actually got this heart, we've got all these experiences, we've got this, like you say, this soul, this being, this awareness. And it's like the knowledge for me, it's like my passion. I've come back to Liverpool now after being away 30 years and living in India years. And for me, it's if we were all informed of medicine and the broader view of medicine, you just know that the harmonium that would be within the society would just be beautiful. Like we'd all just start moving back to our nature.
I agree. I think it's happening. I think the tide has changed. If we think about the yugas of Hindu philosophy, we're
Mm,
going through these cycles of change. There's
mm,
no doubt about it that the world is at a pretty low point at the moment. But I think that we've turned now and we're on the ascension cycle, if you like, for want of a better word. So it's to feel our way into this like uplift and upshift. I was actually talking to someone today and we're getting the same information coming through at different parts of the planet, right? And it's all about writing a new curriculum really for the world's schools, really. I like the expression that school is no place for children. I think that's really good now. And all in all, just another brick in the wall. And I can see it clearly that I wanted to be the best person I could be for me mum. So I worked hard at school. I followed the rules. Nothing seemed to fit. I just felt out of it all the time, you know. And what I didn't realize that it was the system that was wrong, not me. I was like the canary in the mine, really, feeling all these things and wondering what was going on, really. And the drinking and the drugs and all those other things. That was a time to temporarily sort of disinhibit my conscience, if you want, for want of a better word. And I think people talk about consciousness, but I think consciousness without conscientiousness is a bit dodgy. So I do think that there's an underlying purpose and frequency that each individual soul has. And once they click back into their essential self and that purpose, then the joy of living starts to guide them really.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, from an Ayurvedic perspective, it says, before like we can start healing, we have to take away what's causing the disease because it's just going to keep continuing and continuing. And our old habits do, like as they say, do die hard.
Yeah, they
But
do.
the thing is, with like babies on the spiritual path, when we start awakening, we've got to expect to fall down like 1,000 times. Like a baby will get up without any tears, without any frustration, or without any, oh, I'm not going to get up and walk because I've just fell down 100 times. I'm never going to walk again. They just get up. They accept it. It's like there's just like that, like determination. I'm just going to keep walking and I'm going to keep moving forward. And I would love for this mindset, like to be more understood that it's okay to fall down, that it's okay to actually fall back or like what in whatever way the habit is, whatever way the thing that's like bringing somebody down, that it's okay. But and it's that the patience that comes with you get a bit more space, you get a bit more clear, and it's just gradual, isn't it? It's like it's not. It's like okay, we can get the awakening like you got, and that like I mean changes everything. Like that puts us on the path,
It
doesn't
does.
it? It's like that's kind of like, oh my God, we feel like we belong. We feel like that somebody's holding us that that's never held us before. And it's the most um it's the most reassuring thing when we realize that there's a higher power more than Tina and more than Joe, isn't it? It's just like yeah, and I think that for me, I know that the spiritual path, this understanding of who we are innately, is a major key in the medical system, in medicine. And I mean, one of my great teachers, who's a yogi, great master, and he's like the medical system just won't accept spirituality. But I know, I mean, maybe you can tell me um that there's lots more experiments being done now with regards to them trying to test consciousness and stuff. I don't know, you'll probably know more than me.
Yeah, I try and leave it science, you see, because they can sort of get their heads around quantum consciousness, you know. And I call it quantum disentanglement, and they say, well, what does that mean? So I like to use big words, but medical physics is the way forward for medicine. I think the days of primary care and the doctor and the 6 minute say what you've got to say and get out quickly and here's some tablets on the way out. Those days are over now. And I know people in the pharmaceutical industries, and they're basically saying that popping tablets now, those days are over. They know that their sales are plummeting. Nobody trusts them anymore. But what they're trying to get into now is obviously gene therapy and vaccinations, you see.
And gene therapy, what I have to say, this is Ayurveda. It's like Ayurveda actually tells us exactly what we're predisposed to and what we're not. This is Ayurveda fundamentally. So my concern is, while I think research is great in things, I mean, I'm not against modern medicine by far. It saves lives, yeah. Like it's got strengths and it can do a lot, but it's also limited the limitations within it. So for me, it's like all this genotherapy. It's like we've got Ayurveda preventative healthcare, like right here and now, like that everyone can access. That doesn't cost like a lot of money. Like will cost me just like being a teacher to just teach people. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, you get diseases like this because you're really like this, and it's like I am like hoping to really like get my foot in the door. I mean, I had a brainwave like 7 years ago when I mean, I was spending like years in the ashram after I graduated from uni, and I had to like go deep to find God. So, and like I never opened a clinic and stuff. My mind just wasn't in that space for it. So I was like in the ashram and just really having mystical experiences that really like going deep into my heart, like spontaneous experiences that I just like I was just in the right place for it and ready to know it and who I am. And then coming back to Liverpool, no TV in India, in ashram, everyone's chanting to the divine, and the atmosphere is just incredible. So coming back to Liverpool, I was floored with the collective grief, literally on the floor in my nieces. I couldn't get up off the floor. And I was like, this is how people are feeling at home. People are in the home and they're just so full of grief and sadness and, numbing just with TV or whatever, with food, with drinks, with drugs, whatever, just to find some pleasure. Because that's all it is, isn't it? We're just looking for some pleasure because we're fucking miserable. Sorry, I'm not meant to swear. I don't know whether I'm meant to swear or not.
You can
Uh,
say they call me Dr. Effin Joe, so swear away.
yeah. When I'm like passionate, I swear. But it's that, and I then had this like vision. It's just like, because I never knew what I wanted to specialize in Ayurveda because it's massive. It's a complete alternative healthcare system. It's first and foremost prevention, and then it's like can treat every disease that's available. And that takes like a lot of years of clinical sciences to understand disease and the pathway disease. And I didn't get that full, I got that training, but I haven't had that experience because I went into the ashram for all those years. So I had that insight, the holistic, more insight, because you can go to a big Ayurvedic hospital in India, like I did at first when I did my training. I was like, where's God? Where's the like it's like, no, we're just treating disease, Tina. Like, the focus on let's
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
So Ayurveda is so yeah, I came back to Liverpool and I was watching the news and the chronic illnesses and I was thinking this is just crazy. Like why are people suffering so much and all these waiting lists? I couldn't wrap my head around it. And I had this brainwave then. It was just like the light bulb was like, I've really got to bring Ayurveda into the NHS system because my biggest thing is it's not everybody can afford to go onto Instagram and book an Ayurvedic course or a doctor or book a yoga course or book a pranayama course. It's like there's so many. I mean, there's only a small amount of people who can afford alternative healthcare, and there's just like how many who are wanting change, but are not having the support to actually to be able to change. And yeah, I know it is changing. Like, and I know it is changing slowly, but I really believe that we need government health, government support for it to be able to reach everybody. So everybody can choose, okay, if I want the pill, I'll take that pill, or if I don't. I mean, I haven't taken a pharmaceutical prescription for over 25 years. since when I discovered this. I've taken a painkiller about 7 times when I've had a headache or a pain. Do you know what I mean? Or I go to the dentist and I get a jab. When I need it, I'll take it. I'm not against pharmaceutical, but I adapt every day. So I can like I adapt my days like every day so I don't have to actually be dependent, because I got so frightened when I was given the Prozac all those years ago when I was in crisis. Like, and the doctor kept giving me the Prozac, and when I ended up taking it, and when I got numb, I was so frightened, Joe, because I couldn't feel myself, and I thought, this pill will rob me of my life if I keep taking this. And that was the moment when my life changed, because I just made a vow to find a medicine that could heal. And I had no idea, Joe. I was
Yeah,
raised
of
on processed foods. It was the norm. Do you know what I mean? It was the
course.
norm for me to eat, comfort eat. Do you know what I mean? Like if I felt
Absolutely.
something in my body, I'd run to the fridge. What's that feeling? Oh my God, do you know what I mean? I've got to eat. I was so uncomfortable in my body. Like it was just like to feel was like dangerous.
Comfort seeking and stress relieving behaviors.
Yeah.
And that the root of all this is we don't know who we are, you know.
Exactly.
Because and that's it really. And whether you call it yoga or Veda or V Medicatrix Naturae or Chi or Prana or Ki, or it doesn't matter what you call it. It's a
Mm.
feeling, and I think sometimes when you put a name on it, right, it causes consternation and conflict then because one philosophy will say, no, well, we do it this way. It's like having a football team, you know what I mean? Oh no, Liverpool, Everton, Tranmere Rovers, you know. So the idea for me is don't call it anything, just like feel it and work with it really. And that's where I'm up to, you know, because where I work with the same thing, you know, the doshas, you call the doshas, right? I'll call them like endomorph, mesomorph, and sort of another morph, which I can't remember. So there's scientific ways that we can link them all together, you know, and then the 5 elements as well, and then the 7 different body types and stuff like that, you know. We can talk about that in terms of chakras, in terms of how they connect with bodies, endocrine glands. And that's what I'm trying to do, Tina. I've been doing this a long time. I only feel like I'm just touching the surface of this thing now. But in the end, people say to me, have you got a title of what you do? And I say, yes, I'm a psycho-neuro endocrino immunohematologist, right? And they say, well, what's that then? How you think is what you become, right? And it's true, isn't it? But there's like a few pathways in between, really. But what
You know
I'm
what?
helping people with more than anything else now is to stop looking outwards for answers and start looking inwards, because that's where your solutions lay, in your heart of hearts, you know. So my job is to plug them back in some way and let them get on with it, you know. Because if I give them advice and it fails, then they're going to blame me, you see. So a big part of my recovery was 100% personally responsible of to what I attract in my life. And I believe that wholeheartedly, that whatever presents itself in the present moment, right, is a lesson for both my soul and my ego, you
Yeah,
know.
and it's not easy sometimes, is it?
Of course it's not. And if you're feeling shit, it might be a really big good lesson coming up for you. But if you're on the old conditioned programmed, got to do something about it, got to find some relief from this pain. If you can just understand that pain really it's a stop on the journey. If you can stop at the bus stop and try to find out the direction to go in, then that's the way forward. So I'm helping people with mindfulness now to try and create more space for the light to get in. And that might sound a bit glib or cliched or whatever, but it's true
Well, it's
because we
not, it's a
need
chapter
more
life, isn't it?
sunshine. We
Yeah.
need more and more sun in our life, right? We
Mm.
need more sunshine because it's the sunshine that's causing the dissolution of all the problems. There we are. I was like on my lecture there for a moment.
You really were, and that's exactly it. I mean, the sun lights up the whole day, and we are the sun within us. It's like that's the awareness, and we need we need the sun, like we can see with the sun, but like the mind is like in the shadow, and it's that shaft of life. One of my yogis, my yoga teachers, he's like, or somebody else wrote it, I don't know the quote of who wrote it, says, we've got to catch onto that shaft of light, and we have to hold on to it until it grows, and it keeps growing and growing and growing.
I
And
agree.
listening to you, Joe, it's like the blissfulness of who we are, like our state, and that how like we can walk in a room and we can be with people, and you can just like change the whole dynamics of a situation just by being present, just by being calm and being able to actually see things from a different perspective. I mean, I've seen like so many things change like in my life through just being able to be non-judgmental about a situation that's going on and just to be in a space of love. Because we've got that judgment going on with ourselves also. I mean, I caught myself with a judgment going on in my mind today. I was like, oh my God, I'm judging over something. I can't remember what it was. But it's that when we can catch ourselves, because it's the judgment of be judging. Like we have a judgment and then we're judging ourselves for judging ourselves. And that was the thing that I was saying about the shadow work with my coach. He's coming from Maui. He was coming to do this, and that getting free from our continuous our continuous unconscious habits, and that are making us go around about our life without even thinking about stuff, isn't it? We're just doing things because we're just programmed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when people used to say just be yourself, I used to think I was being myself. And now looking back, couldn't be further from the truth. I was like the conditioned, programmed automaton, really.
Mm.
And I'm sort of glad looking back, I'm not glad I went through it because it was terrible. But when you're on this side, you can see where other people are. And the shadow self, I mean, I don't believe at one level in good and evil as such, but in this 3D world we live in, there certainly is good and evil going on. And I think we're going through a time now of real discernment where there's loads and loads of crap coming in now because of this great big shift in consciousness. There's loads of opportunities every single second that are presenting themselves to us so we can find out about us.
Yeah.
And one of
Yeah.
my big things I learned, and I've learned this stuff and I still continue, is in Alcoholics Anonymous. Because that's all about not destroying the ego, but it's bringing the ego down to its correct size. Right. So it's not about destroying anything because, again, why would the creator want to destroy anything? So this is about balance and alignment. That's my feeling anyway.
I like what you said. It's not about destroying the ego. It's exactly that. It's about creating more openness. It's like, let that be there, but just create space and an openness for more to come in. It's
I
just like,
agree.
yeah, it's just like look in another direction, have a shift in perspective. And that's how important it is for education, knowledge. But then knowledge without action, it's like you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't apply it, well, it's just in the head. You're just intellectual. I know this, I know that, I'm important. And that's the ego, isn't it? It's like you have to apply it. And the applying it is the hardest, isn't it? Because the body's going, I don't want to do this. The mind's going, I don't want to do this. But to do it, it's like that action orientation, even though it feels uncomfortable, it's like discipline, and the good life is pain, isn't it? It
Well,
doesn't
yeah,
come without
yeah.
pain. It's like,
Well,
or you can run for that, you can do that quick fix and get all the pleasure, and then you're in pain. It's like there's only two paths, isn't there, in life?
yeah.
The wholesome one or the unwholesome one. And the wholesome one is creating a different pattern, breaking the mold, stepping forward into this new shift. And it's just that's the process. And there's no other way around it, is it?
I
It's
can
like,
tell by looking at you that you used to do a lot of dancing,
yeah.
the way you move.
No, I was just in Italy on a retreat and with one of the brilliant yogis like of the planet, who he was on the retreat, and he said to me at the end, he said, "But you're a dancer, aren't you?" And I was just like, "Oh my God, that's so funny that you saw it in it, like it as because it's like a movement yoga that he was doing." And yeah, for me, dance was the meditation. Always in Liverpool, it's the place where nobody could touch me, Joe. It was
Yeah,
like I would like that was my freedom place, the escapism. And again, like you, I partied, I was wild, like really wild. And then when I discovered meditation, that it's like, it's like I hung the dancing shoes up. I wanted to dance within, but now I dance again. Do you know what I mean? Like just dance
cool.
because like it's fun.
My kids moved miles away from me when I'm going out dancing. You know what I mean? Go to these sober raves. In fact, I got invited to a sober rave, and I'm 70 years of age, going on 17. You know what I mean? And I think, ah, fuck it, I'm just going to let myself go, you know. And I like, people think when I'm running, right, that I'm listening to like Buddhist chants. Couldn't be further from the truth. It's like euphoria music, you know, and Tiesto and trance stuff and all that, you know, because that's what I love, you know. But I've been talked out of the stuff that I enjoy. I was talked out of it by all this dogma. Oh, that you can't do that in our religion. You can't do this. You see, in AA, basically, they reconnect you with your heart, and they show you how to meditate, right? And this is no shit. This is how what happens with me. I sat, and my sponsor said to me, "Just go home now and ask your heart to guide you through the meditation process." So I said, "Dear heart," this is how I talk to myself. "Dear heart, I don't know anything about meditation. Can you help me, please?" And I got this feeling of, yeah, we'll help you. So it helps through intuition and inspiration. This is no shit what I'm going to say. So I got on the bus. I hadn't got my driving license back by then. Got off the bus in Liscard, starting walking towards the shop I was going to. And this fella came up and says, "Are you interested in meditation, sir?" And I thought, fucking hell, that's good the way they do that. Anyway, I got introduced to transcendental meditation then. So then I got me little sort of mantra, right? And I started to do that. Right. And that started to lead me into all sorts of other meditative practices, like meditative movement and all that, you know. And then as it went along, Tina, as you know yourself, is you get introduced when once you've got like okay at something else, something new comes in then. And somebody said to me once, "Have you tried that Reiki?" And my old biochemical head says, "What a load of old bollocks." And he said, "Hang on a sec." He said, "What was it like when you tried it last time?" I said, "I've never tried it." He said, "Don't knock it till you've tried it." So I went for an hour's Reiki session, another big clunk, you know. And from there, I went to the spiritualist church, became a healer there, became a trance medium, all this sort of stuff that I'd never ever thought about before. All my head was getting washed away with try it out because we're looking after you. And that's what I do now. Tomorrow, I could go, I've got no idea. I have a feeling of the direction it's going in. But tomorrow, it might be a complete U-turn and I might be going completely down a different path. I've got to trust that process. That's why I can't hang on to any expectations. That's why I need to clear my mind every night and wake up with a clean sheet tomorrow. And
No,
that's
I
what I
love,
do,
yeah, I
you know.
love that what you said about no expectations. It's so, yeah, that's such a big thing, isn't it? To not have expectations.
Yeah. One of my biggest blocks was Roman Catholicism, and I'm only talking about my journey. If you're a Roman Catholic and an Irish Roman Catholic, and it's making you happy and healthy and helpful, carry on the good work, right? But if you're in a situation where maybe you're pretending to be happy, but you're dead miserable, pay attention. Because, right, maybe you're on the wrong path here, and maybe you need to go back to your heart and not looking outwards, for example, you know, on Netflix and Prime Video, and you know, and if you listen to the BBC, right, you definitely, in my opinion, need your head testing, right? I better shut up quickly there. Pass it back to you. Tell us a
Yeah,
joke.
yeah. I think that the you know the listening. You mean you said about like you joining like you like the different like schools of thought, spiritual schools said that you can't do this and you mustn't do that. I was like that. You're like you want to be so strict because you're in this like thing and you're training yourself and you want to. I mean, I used to be in the ashram like trying to be really humble and do you know what I mean? Like look
I
humble,
know,
look
yeah.
accepting. Do you know what I mean? Because you're trying it on, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? And you're really having a go at trying something new on. But then when the heart becomes more real and you get more your mind starts to get slower and you start to untangle and you start to find the more peace and get into heart you realize the truth, don't you realize that because I used to have a lot of conflict. I would feel the love in Hare Krishna, in my ashram, in Shiva, and anywhere I would go I would feel the love, like whether it's in Christ's church, in the cathedral. For me, I feel the love. It's just the subtleness of it. So I had a lot of conflict for a long time, thinking, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, I'm feeling the love here and I've got to make this choice. And now I know I don't. Now it's just like, well, what a blessing that I can feel the love here and I can feel the love there. It's like it doesn't matter, do you know what I mean?
I agree.
It's like we have to just like find and be comfortable with what's comfortable for us, don't we?
Couldn't agree more. And it's that simple. So, unless, of course, it's causing you harm or anybody else harm, that's probably not the right answer, you know. But if it's giving you joy and it's actually making other people chuckle, right, that's it. It's as simple as that, really. I think so-called ascension or enlightenment, to me, is just being extraordinarily ordinary. You just be an ordinary person, right?
Yeah, that's a
And,
good
you know,
person, isn't it? It's
yeah,
just
but I mean, even good. I mean, good and bad. And there's a prayer we say in AA, right? What you do is you make a whole list of persons you've harmed, and you become willing to make amends to them all. So then you go through that. So you say what's called the steps 3 prayer. And I'm not a religious person at all anymore, right? I used to try and be the holiest. You know, I'm pointing my hands up most better than anybody else in this church now because I'm that holy. You know, all that stuff, right? And inside me, it was like there was a raging demon trying to get out. Anyway, I digress. In AA, what you do is, right, you say what's called the step 3 prayer. And what you do is you say, you understand, I can't manage my life with my head the way it is, right? I can't. So I'm going to now hand over my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand God. And to me now, that's just a feeling. It's not a person. It's not so. And you say, God, I offer myself to thee to build with me and do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of this bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. Tina, I said that prayer, I felt a funny feeling, and that's when it all started to happen because I let go then of the management of my life. And then you go through another stuff where you write all this stuff down and then you share it with somebody else. That's the step of human. I'll just say it as it is. You write down every bit of shit that you've done in your life. You write down every bit of thought you've had and all this sort of thing. And you basically do a personal inventory of yourself, right? We're leaving nothing, no stone unturned at all, right? As my sponsor said to me, is there anything in there that you're going to take to the grave with you? And I said, no. So I basically got in, turned all the bloody gravestones up, got all the shit out, and I shared it with another person. Now, this is a step that a lot of people won't go through because they say, God already knows. But that's the step that brings humility. That's the real action step. And then after you've done, see, I'm getting thing up my spine talking about it, right? And if you really want to be a leader in this field, if that's what you've signed up for before you came here, I think that you probably have to do this. So you shared it with somebody else. This was the reason for the confessional, right? When Christianity and Catholics, when it was set up for the right reason, it was to go to the priest and say, look, Father, I've stolen this and I've been seeing somebody else and all that. I'm really contrite about it. I'm going to try and not do something about it. Anyway, I digress. So the step 7 prayer goes like this. My Creator, I am now willing that you should have all of me, both good and bad. I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Please grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. The next day, I woke up in a totally different world, right? And that night going to bed, right, I sat there and this fucking voice said to me, Joseph, we love you. And I said, and loads of people have heard this before, I said, that's very, very nice. I said, but fuck off and come back in the morning when it's light. And I woke up, and I swear to you, with a different perspective, right? And since then, I've been trying to tune in to this guidance. And my life has changed beyond all, beyond my wildest dreams. Does it mean to say it's been easy? No, it doesn't. But you mentioned before suffering. Suffering leaves you, but the pain doesn't because you realize it's just another step going forward to greater consciousness. I'm sorry, I've hijacked it, love. You carry on.
No, you haven't at all. You just going back to that. I mean, for me, that emptying out the mind, like we have to empty her out, and that's the work I've done with my coach this last year. It's so interesting because, I've been heavily within like I spent years in solace just meditating and you know, I live a very quiet life, and which I like it. I like it. And it was not until I met my coach that I knew a couple of years ago that I seen him on a webinar and I thought he can help me empty my mind. Like I know he can crack me open because I had all this ancestral stuff that I was just holding on to. Like I just look, I could feel the bliss, I could have these experiences, but I was just holding on in my mind. I couldn't let go, Joe. I couldn't bring myself to practice. And for years, people have been saying, "Why aren't you practicing yet, Tina?" Because I just had this like saying I can't in my mind and a lot of other stuff. So I knew when I met this coach, seen this coach, John Patrick Morgan um on on a webinar, and it was just like he was in Maui and like and it just wasn't the time. And then it came round last year and I met him and he's helped me. He knows everything about me. Yeah. He was like this final piece where I've emptied out everything. It's like to feel safe with someone and
Yeah.
to get everything out. It's like that's unleashing me to go, okay, like I'm free now. I'm not gonna stop until I know that everybody knows about Ayurveda, yoga, pranayama, breathing, meditation, all it. It's all in my bag also as well for as you. It's like, but I had this like these beliefs that just was kept going round in the mind. And it's so important that we do actually get things out on paper. It is. It's like we're too like my coach John Patrick Morgan, he says, you know, he said we just think just because we're facing something, we're getting it out, we think that um it's gonna get us, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
And it does, we need care. It's not just something that can be done like on our own. We do need that training, we do need that support to be able to do that. It's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, if our healthcare system had this more, like, it would just be amazing. I mean, I just think what world could we be living in? Like, I mean, I know you've got your harmony in your life and I've got my harmony in mine, but for everybody to be have more of that in their lives, do you know what I mean? More
I
of that.
think I think it's happening. It's people like us, right? And my view is that we will be given a task in the day or a couple of tasks from
Mm,
our intuition because my feeling was, and I've tried this, I used to be like an ambulance chaser thinking I could save the world and all that, but it's got to be in God's time. There's a sequence to it. And this is the difficulty because I used to be so impatient and get so frustrated that people couldn't get what I was trying to say to them. And my sponsor said to me, "You're being too pushy. Leave it alone." He said, "This is about effortless effort." He said, "You'll be presented in the present moment with the action you need to take. Just enjoy yourself until you get called. And you know, when you get moved by spirit, right? That's the time you get put into action. It's like something in you puts like the gear stick into first gear and off you go, you know. And that's how I live my life now, you know. So patience and frustration. In AA, what they teach you is this there's certain they call it the illness, which is basically like the opponent, if you like, or the opposition. And they talk to you about how do you know that the opponent's got its grip in you? Well, first of all, you feel uncomfortable, nervous, irritable, and discontented. It can't be the divine in you because that doesn't feel those things, right? So you must be obstructed. So nervous, irritable, discontented. The next thing is resentment. That's the one that takes more people back to the drink. And if you look at the word resentment, it's resent. It keeps coming back in your head to cause you disturbance. That's because you haven't seen the lesson in it
yeah,
yet.
not
You know,
seeing that.
so
Mm.
this is karmic. This is karmic. So we're going backwards now to clear up our karmic past now. And generally speaking, we have to take an action opposite that we did then, which was either taken out of fear or intellectual pride. There's only those two things that cause obstruction. Fear on the one hand, that's the little child, and intellectual pride, that's like the authoritarian parents, you know what I mean? There's only those two. One's left brain, one's right brain, one's yin, one's yang, right?
Okay, go
One's
over.
Ida, one's Pingala, call it what you like, right?
Tell me that again on because you're talking what's on the we've got fear on the left and what was the other one on the
Intellectual pride,
right?
knowledge.
That would
It's
be left then, wouldn't it then?
So the left will be that's the left one. That the
Mm,
intellectual pride is the left, right?
mm,
The right brain, left nostril, right brain, right?
sure.
Ida Pingala. So that's the feminine. The right brain
Mm.
is the feminine. That's generally more sensitive, but more submissive generally. Well, that's changing round now because the sacred feminine energy that's flooding across the globe now. It's coming in with a nurturing, dissolving energy, right? Purgative or almost like, but it's taking no shit anymore. It's like almost saying to this sort of masculine side, listen, boyo, you've had your fun for eons of time now. There's a change coming in, and that's definitely what's happening, you know. And I've got this big link, and I didn't know any of this, with the Mary Magdalene energy, right? When I was 7 years of age, I'm convinced that Mary Magdalene appeared to me, right? Now, I could be making it up, but it doesn't matter, right? But all I'm saying is, I feel like I work for the sacred feminine. And there's been loads, I've got friends on here who've gone through a bit of a journey with me as well. And I've been taken back to the Cathars, you know, to the south of France. We've gone back further then into Africa, into the Crusades, into Egypt, into Gnosis. Oh, and it's like, what the fuck? What's all this about? And it's all about, right, what you signed up for before you came here. You chose your soul's curriculum, right? And you can never be happy until you let go of your ego desires and sink into your soul or your heart's desires. See, look, once I'm on that pulpit, there's no bleeding stopping me.
You know, it is beautiful. And going back to that childhood thing, I wanted to be a nurse. Like I had a nurse's outfit as a young kid, and my sister said to me, "Oh, Jack the Ripper kills nurses." So I never wanted to be a nurse again. Like she just lied to me. It just took me away. But I knew at that young age that I wanted to be in the care field, that it was so clear. And then, like, thankfully, like she said that, because all these years later, I got healthcare, medicine, like natural medicine came to me, because it was just like my calling was there. So it's like people say, I mean, the question is like, well, what makes us happy and what do we want to do? And this is like, whatever makes us happy, we're free to live that way, isn't it? It's like
Absolutely.
so simple. I know that we've got to like earn the living and stuff like that, and but it's just like it's about just making those first steps, isn't it? Like towards like a new direction, and like just like just taking on board something.
I think more than anything else it's getting honest with yourself. And
Yeah.
sometimes you can only, it says solitary self-appraisal seldom suffices. That means you'll always come up with answers that suit you. So you really need to share your inside stuff with somebody else. And they'll say, well, that's a load of old bollocks, right? My sponsor said to me, I've never met a more, what did he say? I've never met a more arrogant person in all my life, right? Oh no, I've never met a more selfish person in all my life. Well, I remember, I thought I was like Saint Joseph, you know what I mean? I used to help everybody else. He said, Joe, the only reason you help anybody else is so they'll say, what a wonderful person you are. It's all about you, you. And I know that now, right? That my life and my actions were motivated that I'll do this. They'll say I'm good now. Tina, if I did something for somebody and they didn't thank me, right, I'd want to slit their throat, right? And that's why he said to me, you know, when you've done something, Joe, and you've worked hard for somebody else and they basically just ignore you, how do you feel? I want to kill them. That's all about you, Joe, all about you. And I've realized that all my motives, right, were just self-centered motives. And as soon as I saw it, I looked back through my whole life, right, even as a child, right, and it was all about me. And that's the biggest freedom you can get when you accept that. So what I try and do now is I try and feel my way into the motive, because the ego's still knocking about. He's trying to distract me, the shadow, distract me all the time. But I have a sense of now that when I project, if I get an open and flowing feeling, that's generally the direction that I should go in.
It's funny you should. It's that. I had a talk with my coach today, and I really hated him for a minute, like, or for a few hours, in
Yeah.
fact. It
Sounds
was
like a
just
good
like,
fella.
huh? Yeah, I
He
really
sounds
like
like a good
really
fella.
hated him. Do you know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
recently, I just like message him, just like, yeah, all right, then maybe you're right, like kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And it feels good too. It feels so good to actually see. Oh, I feel free now because I actually see that. Yeah, maybe it was my error. Maybe like, and I love that freedom to be wrong. Do you know, not that you're bad, okay, you thought that, Tina, or this. It's just like, oh yeah. Like he said to me just recently, he said the sooner we accept that we're wrong and that It's okay to be wrong and make mistakes. Because for me, it used to be like, I can't make mistakes.
Yeah,
For me
exactly.
to be criticized was the worst thing that could possibly happen to me. It was the worst things. Like, please don't criticize me. Like, I couldn't cope with that. Like, literally couldn't cope with it. But now it's like, who cares? It's like that's the fun of it. It's like every leader gets it wrong, don't they?
Cool.
And
I
like
agree. I
it's
agree
all part
entirely.
about making it mistakes, and I love it now. It's like this is so cool that I can get it wrong and then go, okay, let me try and get it right then. I think it's so beautiful that we're here as children. Do you know what I mean? That we're really here, just that we're in the playground of life and we're experimenting.
Yeah.
That's it, isn't it? It's like we're here to experiment.
I had body shame and everything, you know what I mean? Because we're brought
Oh,
up, don't be
mm,
touching that now, but you know, and all that sort of business. And I've had to over the years get comfortable with all my body, all the holes in my body, how it felt like this, that, and the other, and just realize the body in itself is the vehicle through which the soul is expressing itself. And once you sort of get to that, that becomes a big freedom as well now, you know. And I wouldn't like pass wind. Right, I don't have to hold it in school or go to the toilet because I can't get up now because what will they think? I just look back and how pathetic, you know. And the thing is, until you get comfy with your body, there's certain yogic things that you do that are very helpful. So you get closer to expanded consciousness, right? Like we've talked about, you know, it's interesting, you know, because I think more than anything else is I couldn't give two shits what anybody else thinks about me anymore at all. I'm not interested, right? But you know, of course, I don't want to cause any harm. But sometimes I'm that direct now because I almost like see it as my job. It's like I'm an ego slayer now, and that's part of my job, really. And your coach, he sounds great. You know, I think it's great. It's an irony that he's called J.P. Morgan. You know, because isn't that one of the greatest, the largest financial institutes in the world, the J.P.
I think you would
Morgan
have a
Bank?
great conversation with him because his brain's brilliant.
Yeah,
You've got such a brilliant brain. I mean, I'm not so, you're quite intellectual. I can see that you've got that kind of really academic spark. I'm really not like that. Do you know what I mean? Okay, I kind of, I'm not the greatest academic, even though I've got the degrees and stuff. But like his brain, I think you'd have a great conversation with him because he's just like super sharp. Like the way he thinks, it's like, I mean, he cracked me open. Do you know what I mean? Like he cracked not just me, he cracked open all the ancestral like lineage that that kept me locked in. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Like he cracked that open because and like so yeah. I think to have a great mind, to have a courageous mind is an a commitment to seeing the truth. And I think it's yeah, I mean that's the sun, isn't it? That's like the
definitely,
sun. That's the sun. It's being able to
definitely.
see the truth, actually what's really going on here. It's like, and that's the yoga philosophy. That's what I love about the yoga philosophy. It's either we're thinking good or we're not thinking good, or we're imagining, which
Yeah,
imagination can be good. It just narrows things down, doesn't it? Like at the
does.
simple science, like we don't have to get so lost in um so many like stuff. It's just like let's just break it down so it's understood for us all, like so we can go, well, actually, I'm not thinking right here. Or is this, do you know what I mean? It's just that, and I mean, something you said earlier on when you were saying about your prayers to God and stuff. It's that, it's like, it's questioning, isn't it? Starting to question and ask the right questions. Because until we start questioning, we won't get the answers, will we? We have to start questioning.
It depends. I think you can over question and you can get into like psycho, what do they call it? Analysis paralysis, really. Needing to know the answer. There's a very subtle bit there. If you want to find out something because you're enthusiastic and interested about it, right, that's the one thing. But if you want to know the answer to make yourself feel better, I think that's a bit of a trap in itself, really.
Oh yeah,
It's
no,
like,
I get
you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I did, but all those years ago when I was like down and I didn't know about food, I remember just thinking to myself, I kept painting rainbows and pots of gold, and I was working in finance, the worst dealer in the world in an office. Like I
Yeah,
drove my supervisor and managers crazy because I just
yeah,
made mistakes all the time. I was in
yeah.
the wrong job, getting loads of money, and I just used to think like I had to be on earth for something more. Like I like there had to be more. And I used to think, imagine what I could put my mind to. instead of this misery that I'm thinking of. Like, instead of this downward, I started to question,
Yeah,
gotta be something more. I literally started to question, like, that was before I had the epiphany when, like, I had my first huge awakening. I just started to actually have that, like, questioning of, this can't be life. Life can't be about feeling so just out for the weekend and being depressed all week. There had to be more. And it was that questioning, I mean,
yeah,
like
yeah,
that, like innocence, isn't it? It's
yeah,
like an innocence
yeah.
of, please tell me there's gotta be more to life. And I think it's that, and we won't. I mean, one great Dr. Robert Sapoda, I remember saying to him, I was on pilgrimage, and he's like the first Ayurvedic doctor to actually train in India. I remember saying to him one time in India, how do I become inquisitive? And he said, he asked his teacher the very same question. And he's a great scholar, this Dr. Saboda, and he said, you just have to question everything. And I remember applying it. It was just like some things were happening, and I'd just stop, pause, like you're saying, listen to the heart. It's just like, okay, let me just like ignite my intelligence here and just like go, okay, well, what is this then? Isn't it? It's these stopping and allowing our intelligence to awaken.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
the intelligence within us. It's like we have to like get curious, don't we? Instead of just accepting things the way it is, accepting our behaviors, accepting that we just do this unconscious habit that actually we know makes me miserable because I keep doing the same thing, going round and round, getting the same results. It's awareness. And this is Ayurveda. Ayurveda is awareness. It's awareness and medicine, like full stop.
I
And
agree. I agree. I
yeah,
mean, I teach, integrative health at university, and we do a lot about Ayurveda. We do a
right.
lot about homeopathy.
Oh,
So
you
we
are
have to
teaching
look at all,
Ayurveda.
and there's something called the V Medicatrix Naturae, which is the healing, flowing life force. But as you say, that's also called prana. It's also called chi. It's called ki. It's called the Holy Spirit. It's called ruach. It's called elan vital. It's the same bloody thing with this with different names on it, and people fall out over the names. You see. So what I'm saying is that this healing is actually beyond words. It's even beyond symbols. It's beyond memory. It's just a feeling of oneness. That's where I'm up to with stuff. That if my head's getting, I can feel the disturbance happening. And we talk about sin. We're highly sensitive people when we're born. We sense more than other people because our radars are extended. Most of us withdraw like an anemone. You know what I mean? And then we find ways then to chemically get ourselves out of it. And then we get addicted to that, right? Until we get to the point where we want to kill ourselves because nothing's working. And then we get shown you can do this naturally, and we've been with you all this time. And the thing about sin is, I understand that sin literally means from the Greek to be off target or to miss the mark. To miss the mark. That's all it means. But certain of us, we've been told right from day one that we're sinners, right? And I got brought up with that. You're wrong. You've made another mistake. It's the way that you reflect upon that now. It's like, oh, well, I give it my best shot. Better luck tomorrow. And it's almost like talking to yourself, like, how do you feel about that? Well, fair enough. There's always improvements to be made. I think I'll go to bed now. Night, night. And it's really the way that we talk to ourselves, because judgment of others starts with the judgment of ourselves. And most of us have got no idea how judgmental we are at depth. We're not even aware of it because our head keeps telling us that we've got to send out love and light. In my view, you got to take your eyes, look deep in you, and seeing where these emotional triggers are coming from.
Mm.
Christ, I'm like the Pope again. In nomine Patris et Filio et Spiritus Sancti. Burbuva suvaha tat savitu verinyam bargo devasya dimehi dia and all that sort of stuff. The Gayatri mantra.
Listen, I have just been on retreat in Italy with my Vedic teacher. I chant the Vedic chanting that the priest chant.
Fantastic.
I like what like lit from the highest lineage. Like I have just been chanting to Shiva, and it's just been the most powerful week I've just had of bliss, like so powerful. So for me, Vedic chanting is so much a part of my life. And the Gayatri mantra, I would love the Gayatri mantra to be in everybody's lives. Hey, teacher, listen to this, guess this. Hey, guru, my guru, Shantala, hey, guru's in India, because to chant Vedic chanting, it's like the Brahmins, it's the high caste Brahmins. It's like, no, Vedic chanting is for the Brahmins. She, she went, she, like her family, she was raised up she's from India. She left India and she's now married to a Dutch guy. And she went back to her, like she ran away from her culture, was in corporate. When her mum died and her mum sang chants, she went back to her, back to her roots. She was like, and she went back to her roots and she was like, I want to teach Vedic chanting. And she found these gurus and they said, I mean, totally against the normal tradition,
Yeah.
they're like, everybody needs to know how to chant Vedic chanting and everybody is allowed to chant Vedic chanting. So she is like teaching Vedic chanting like so much. And I'm so grateful to be taught with her. Like, and yeah, it's so life-changing because the pronunciation of, I mean, I could just go into the Gayatri mantra from the way it's pronounced. It's yeah, anyway, I don't want to go on no more. I'm rabbiting on now. Yeah, and just that you're actually you mentioned the Gayatri mantra, and for me to say where I've just been in this retreat, it was like we were in heaven, we were in the top of the mountains, and it was like we were all in heaven, like literally, like so blissful. Like it was just so amazing.
I got into that many, many years ago. Got to be over 25 years now, where I was teaching massage because I do massage as well and all that. And I put a relaxation tape on, and that came on. First time I ever heard it. In fact, I've got a thing going up my spine now. It just had a massive impact upon me, you know.
Yeah,
And I like the real sort of rough version, really, not the smoothed out version. But it's whatever blows your frock up, really. But then it took me across the world, then into Native American. It took me to sort of all the ancient Egyptian stuff. Then, so I've almost like been on a journey of different vibrations, tones, frequencies, and stuff like that. I mean,
yeah,
it's fascinating, really. I think you've got to go with what you feel. But I tell you what, I don't do anymore. I don't do gurus, right? I don't do gurus, right? I think that we've all got, including ourselves, we've all got our own personal lived experience. That's what changes people, right? And I've listened to them all, right? From all across the planet and stuff like that. And I came to the realization that nobody knows it all, right? We've all got a partial truth, right? And I think we've got an inner guru that once you get to a point of, it's not that you don't listen to anybody else, or I don't. I
yeah,
listen to it, but I take all the information and I put it in my heart. And I basically like the processor. If there's anything in there for me, just give us the message clearly, please. So
yeah.
that's where I'm up to. And I don't do high and low, and I don't do lineages. I'm only talking about me now. This is where I'm up to. I don't do all that stuff anymore because it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's like when you stand in your own truth, that's the thing, that's the growth, that's the evolution, isn't it? We
Mm.
get inspired by people who know. And this is the natural thing. And this is what my teacher spoke about. She said the rishis, like, because I mean, there's tens of thousands of Vedic chants. She went, know what they did? They inspired each other. No one owned it.
Exactly.
No one owned the knowledge. Someone like would make a chant and then someone would be inspired and like adapt it because they were inspired. They didn't own it. They knew that. They knew it was universal. And it
Exactly.
was so beautiful to hear this, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like that's how it is and that's how we are. It's like, we're inspired by people and we adapt. And I used to feel a bit guilty about that, like getting inspired, you know what I mean? Like I had a bit of a conflict in my mind. I can't put it into words how or what, but just hearing here the other day, it's like when I mean the key thing is staying open, isn't it? To
Yeah.
keep this vessel
Yeah.
open,
Yeah.
keep clear, keep life moving through us, so we can continuously be inspired and be growing.
If you're open and flowing, just keep going.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and it does. We have to go through the complexity and the complications of it all to realize that we have to go through that to let go of it all. It's
Growth, isn't it? It's growth, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. It's like
Growth
Tai
spurts
Chi.
are painful. You said about painful before, and it's like growth spurts are painful, isn't it? It's like,
Absolutely.
I've got a blockage here. Okay, I've just got to like get myself through the like.
And I have a couple of people that I can just ring up. If I was in real severe sort of constriction, I'll ring
Mm,
them up and I'll just share what's going on in my mind and in my heart. They don't give advice. It's that step of humility again, rather than trying to keep it in and work it out yourself. If you
mm.
share it with somebody else where two or more are gathered, it seems
Mm.
to alleviate the problem then. You know what I mean?
Does Joe, and that's
Yeah,
the thing, to just share. I mean, the saying is so true that we've all known for years, like a problem shared is a problem halved. It's that
absolutely.
simple.
Absolutely. Tina, I'm going now. You don't have to go on. I say that to some people that are God, you still go on a lot.
There's
And
so much to share, isn't there? And there's so much to say, isn't it? It's just endless.
it
It
is
really
love.
is.
And I think that, let go. Try and understand in my experience that what's for you won't pass you. Right. And what that means is it could be really bloody horrible, but it'll be a good lesson. But more than anything else is if you're feeling emotionally disturbed, don't take any action. Take a
Yeah.
step back, open your heart and say, what is it that I need to do here to clear this obstruction? And it might be as simple as you just said yes to somebody there when really you wanted to say no. Go back and be honest. Or do I have to? You know you do. Go and say no. Well, how am I going to say it? Just say, listen, I've made a mistake here. I've thought about it again. I'm awfully sorry, but I'm going to say no. Now, the important thing is if they get upset by that, that's not your fault because you're now telling the truth. That's their lesson to learn then,
Hmm.
and sometimes the truth sets you free, but it'll cut a few legs and arms off and fingers in the process. You know what I mean? But
No,
it'll be worth it in the end.
it is. It's like standing in your truth, isn't it? And really being honest, even if it's painful to say it. And it's like, I'm going to say this, but I'm going to feel better if I say it.
Yeah,
Because it's just to clear the air, isn't it? It's just
exactly.
if we can just be honest and clear the air and just get over it. It's like we can just be free with it, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
just this is what we're here for, to communicate, isn't it? It's like to be free. It makes me just feel emotional when I think about it. Like I'm just feeling it open in my own mind right now because I myself had this conversation with someone today. Like it's like actually, I'm not really comfortable with this, and I want to share it. Like I want to say that, um, yeah, I just want to get it off my chest, and I feel so good from it, like so free that I never thought that I would have said something. Do you know what I mean?
we're being telepathic here because I have a phrase that's if there's something playing on your mind,
Mm.
best get it off your chest.
Yeah,
And
yeah, and
that's it. And if you don't, then it'll block you, really. This is the difficulty. So I think now more than anything else is I say to people, look, something's not playing right with me, something doesn't feel right. Would you mind if I get it off my chest? And everybody says yes to
I
that.
love that. I love that with your
Everybody.
mind. I
Yeah.
love that you're asking, can I just say
Yeah,
this?
because you've asked permission, you've said you're uncomfortable. Would you mind if I just got it off my chest? They all say yes to that. Now, if whatever you say, right, causes them disturbance, that is not your problem because in my view, that's spirit working through to highlight them. And then we can almost pass the mess because people see me now. I've gone from a neurotic, nervous wreck, and they see me as some sort of a leader now. Which is a bleeding joke as far as I'm concerned. But I know, Tina, that at one level I am a leader in this field, right? I know that I am.
Joe, it's
But
accepting that, and that's okay, isn't it?
yeah,
It's that. I mean, I'm with you there, and I've only just got started telling myself that. It's like, but I know this shit. Do you know what I mean? It's just like I've got to start owning that now and just being happy to speak with people to share about it.
I
It's so
agree.
important to go, yeah, actually, I can share this. I can because I really know it works. And it's like, come on, yeah. For me, we have to accept our level of knowledge, um because only then it can actually go far because that light can be spread.
I agree. And I think that's what's happening is the light body or the soul or that energy, it's infiltrating us. It's
Mm.
bringing up tensions and things that we've held in our physical body for God knows how long. Not just our personal stuff, but the ancestral stuff. We're almost like clearing those channels out now, right? In order for more light to shine through. Because I think the more that you get out of the way, the more the light shines through. And you don't even know it, but it seems to impact upon other people. You know what I mean? And I think that's it.
Do you know what? I remember listening to a cardiologist, Dr. Hedge, and I saw him in London one time, and he loves Ayurveda. And I always remember him telling us, he said, our DNA, it only makes up our DNA, so all our predisposed diseases and our ancestral thing only takes up 33% of our cell. So we have this 60% capacity for consciousness, for change. It's just incredible.
I,
It's just, for me, I was like, wow. Like, and it's like, yeah, to me, I mean, I'm still wow by it. It's like, how much that we be these awakened people? And yet we don't want to have the predisposed diseases, but we have to work at it. We have to live this conscious life. So we're actually and manage this life. I mean, because disease can be managed. It's all about managing, isn't it? Like someone said to me recently, you suffer from anxiety. I said, I don't. I manage it. I manage my life. So I'm not so anxiety. I'm predisposed to anxiety because I'm like the wind. I'm like, you've seen me move a lot. That's my natural nature.
I
So
don't think I don't agree with that in the way that you're putting it across. I see it in a different way. I don't think that we manage it. I think it's managed for us if we stay close to our heart. Do you see what I mean?
yeah,
Because
and
anxiety
at the
means,
level.
yeah, I know we're saying, but this might just be a moot point, really.
Mm,
But what I'm saying is, anxiety, the root word means a tightening or a narrowing of the throat, right? And so anxiety is a fight and flight response. So it
mm,
means that at some level, in the way I see things, is that our ego is being threatened at some level, right? So the root cause is egocentricity. So
mm.
that's really, what I've had to learn is any tension is a symptom of an underlying processing problem, right? And that's the way I see it. I think if I'm managing anything, I'm still back in the driving seat, you see.
Yeah.
That's
No,
just the way.
what
I mean, we're only talking about my perspective.
for me, no, I get that, and I hear what you're saying. But for me, what I'm actually saying is, I mean, I live a life like whereby I live calmly, basically. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like it's just like a different twist on it. I live my life, so I have all my practices, so I live calmly. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like because like this person see me questioning stuff and like saying stuff, so they thought, oh, but it's just like no, it's because I'm questioning things. It's like um yeah, I'm expressive and things like this, but it's yeah, for me it's like I live a life so I can not get so anxious.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No, no, I think we're saying the same thing. It's just that, yeah, yeah,
nuances. Is that when we say the word nuances?
nuance. Yeah, it's
There's
a nuance.
nuance.
Yeah, and
I've
that
never
would be
really understood that word, you know.
nuance. Yeah, it's well, I call it nuance analysis. It's sinking deeper, isn't it? Because when people say go looking higher, I think you got to sink deeper in order to go wider.
Mm.
Right, that's where I'm up to. It's only the way I explain things, right? Because high and low seems to be some sort of a linear differential as well. I think that the deeper we go, the more we feel the disturbance, the more we understand the action to take to disentangle it, the more that we get expanded. That's how I sort of see it in my field of vision, really.
It is. It's true. It's getting grounded and
It
feeling.
it
It's
is.
like we can have all the airy thoughts and be all in the head, and it can be all I'm like this. But until we get down and get our roots down to the nitty gritty, it's like things don't change.
I
And I
couldn't
know
agree.
that for years. I was on that level for years.
Couldn't agree more. And
Yeah.
I think it's ragasses like us, right, that are
Mm.
helping to make the
I
world
don't
a
know
better
about the
place.
rag asses. Like, yeah, I'm
No,
not,
but
I'm not accepting that
you
really
know,
now. Yeah.
I'm from Seacombe, right? And like you, it was an impoverished upbringing. We were skint all the time. My old fellow worked on the docks. My mother was a dinner lady, but
Oh,
all I can remember is it was hard going as a kid. You know what I mean? And so I think that we incarnated into that to feel all that, and it's almost like we're coming out of it now. You know,
yeah.
Tina, I'm going now. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. We must do this again further down the
I'd love
line.
to. I'd really love to, Joe. It's been so nice.
All right, and hopefully we can meet in the flesh one of these days as well.
Yeah, I'll be back in Liverpool in a week's time.
Lovely.
So any time after that, I'll be there for the next few months anyhow.
All right. So thanks very much, and thank you everybody for listening. And if you want to get hold of Tina when she comes back, how do you do that?
They can email me. They can my website will be my website here. Yeah, they can email me or contact me on Facebook or on
Okay,
Instagram. Tina Ayurvedic River. Ayurvedicriver.com.
splendid. Right, my love. Well, thanks very much, and thank you everybody, and may the force remain with you forever and ever. Goodbye.